Today we've got a little shoe for you that you'll enjoy. It's a limited edition, and it's a shoe. It's a basketball player, a very famous, probably the most famous player in the world. It's his shoe, and it's the latest. Well, I said the latest one. It is as of now, and it's the limited edition, the first one that came out, but it was only available on the Nike Sneakers app, I believe. Well, I may be wrong about that, but I think so. And I got it when it first came out, and yeah, it's the, let's just get straight into it, let's not muck about. It's the LeBron 17 Future Air. So first, have a quick look at the box. It's a lovely gold LeBron on it. What you won't be able to see is basically there's a picture of a line underneath in black shiny on them, which you saw it's black on black, but it's shiny. So in the right light you can see it. You won't be able to see it there. There's also the LeBron James logo on the side in a similar fashion. So I shall get now onto the shoe because I wanted to talk about it in a very specific fashion. And what I wanted to talk to you about is that you could make certain arguments about this shoe, and what I'm going to say, I'm going to come out and just say it right, that in many ways this is an Air Max in all but name, and that's not strict, obviously that's not, I'm being a bit silly saying that, but if you're looking at the rear here, the air unit, as you can see, it's very similar to the 720, so it's very similar to the Air Max in that regard. And I know that LeBron is a huge fan of the Air Max line, and he wanted a bit like this that's going to be like the Air Max, the 720. The good thing about this compared to the 720 is it's a lot lower, it's a more normal size. On the 720 it's huge, and in fact that becomes a problem for walking and stuff, and running, because your foot ends up like that, so you're always slightly tilted because this bit's so big, and it wouldn't be very good to play basketball in, I imagine. So this is a more sensible size. The other thing that's different is it's got these two Zoom Air units. There's the Max unit at the back, the two Zoom Air units at under the ball of the foot, essentially, for cushioning and sort of propulsion effect. And in this it's bright orange, which I really like. The previous LeBrons, I believe the 16, but I know for certain the 15, had a full-length combination of Air Max and the Zoom, so it was sort of all in one, which was a first, I believe, for a Nike shoe, and indeed I preferred that. I think it gave you a lot more bounce and cushion and response all in one. And for when I've played in the bronze, I think the 15 particularly was better from a cushioning and response standpoint. These aren't bad, but I feel like they're a lot more chunky, and they definitely feel quite large. So when I've played in them, not particularly keen on playing in them too much, because it's a bit chunky, a bit heavy, the sole's really heavy with these units, and also the sort of how thick the plastic is. It is a bit chunky for playing, and it I feel like it weighs you down. For LeBron, being he's a big fellow, maybe it suits him, but I prefer a slightly lighter shoe. I've been mainly using the KD 12s and the Jordan 34 to play. Now I'll notice, I'll go into more detail in this shoe specifically, as this colour. You can see the colour shifting on the swoosh here as I move it around in the light. That's something I particularly love about it. What we've got here is this is very specific to this limited model, which I've kept it on, is this little tag. It says remove before launch. Then it's also holographic, so you get other messages in there. Specifically, there's like some details underneath. So it changes colour when you move it, so that's another nice little touch, which I quite enjoy. On the other side it says Air Max technology, yeah, it says Air Max technology. Yeah, and it tells you it's 25 pounds per square inch, the pressure in the airbag, so that's interesting. Love the knit on here. This seems to be standard line it, but then you get to the back, and it's what on the 15 they called it Battle Knit, but they've changed the name now to, and it is sort of slightly different because it's almost like you can see when you get really close, the fibres seem to be almost like they're encased in a plastic box almost, and so, well, not box because, but it's what they've done is, I'm told what they've done is heat fused the mesh into these little squares. You can actually see the swirling bits of fabric inside, the threads and such, and yeah, so it's sort of really, but it's a bit like a creme brulee because it's quite crispy on the outside, but if you press it there is some sort of squelchiness and give and softness underneath. So yeah, it's kind of like that. Why they changed it from Battle Knit to Knit Posit, not sure. This particular colour, I mean, it's nice because that's more silver and that's more sort of whitey grey, but on the Laker colour it really stands out because these bits are the yellow bits. You see the yellow fibres in there and the rest of it's purple, so it's really quite nice. Not there's anything wrong with this one, I quite like that as well. But yeah, I think the Lakers colourway is the best when it comes to this. However, the thing that is most interesting about this shoe is, of course, the tongue, because the tongue is basically a hologram. And you'll notice actually one of the things that would be annoying about wearing this is the laces go underneath this hologram bit, so there is a tongue underneath, but this hologrammatic part is sort of stitched, so it's loose there, but then it's stitched to the bottom of the tongue and to the top of the tongue, so you're basically, your laces are caught underneath and it would be really hard to actually lace them under here. But obviously it's so it changes, it's a sort of hologrammatic thing, changes colour, very nice, and it's got the sort of lion's head motif that's synonymous with James on the other pairs it's sort of embossed on like a leathery type substance, a fake leather type substance with little eyes and stuff into the grain of the leather. On this, obviously, this is just a, well, there is a sort of fake leather underneath. There's a little bit of perforation on it, but it's obviously this is sewn to the upper there and the top of the tongue there. So yeah, it's a very different thing, and of course, with the standard leather tongue, that's the leather tongue's under the laces with the face, with the sort of lion's head pattern on it, whereas this is over the top of the laces, which makes it difficult. But it's definitely a very interesting and enjoyable design, which I really like. So, and nonetheless, from an aesthetic standpoint, I think this is absolutely fabulous. I think I've said all I need to say, and the video is getting on a bit now, so I'll wrap up and just say, really good shoe actually. I'd prefer it for fashion though, over playing in, because it's a little bit heavy, but I still think it's a decent shoe to play in, and I wouldn't say no to playing in it, and it's not bad at all, but it is a lovely design and it is a good shoe. I just prefer the Jordans and the KDs anyway, but I love this. And that's enough for today, so hopefully I'll see you soon. Thank you, bye bye.